Well, welcome. I see we have a few folks that are here now. If anybody is in the mood to show their beautiful likeness on this video that we're doing right now, that would be just lovely. I always really do love Serene. So nice to see you. Let's see. Mr.
Hi.
Nishi. Do we know each other? Whoever, I'm so pleased that you're here. How are you connected to this webinar? How did you know about it?
Oh, I got a email from Daybreak,
Great.
and yeah, I work with JSA,
Okay.
which works with Japanese seniors, and I
Oh,
teach Tai
Jason.
Chi there. So
Yeah.
that's how I got motivated to come.
I know Jason. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm really pleased to see you all, and I have a sneaking suspicion and hopeful that others will join us, or if not able, we'll watch this video when we show it. But I'm going to get started now and share my screen. And there we are. Okay, let's begin. Just wonderful to see you all. So, as you may know, this is Fall Prevention Week and month, let's just say let's call it Fall Prevention Year. Yeah,
Yes.
we really want to prevent falls all year long. I want to introduce myself briefly. My name is Susan Musicant. I'm a physical therapist. I've been working in geriatrics as a PT for 30 years. I am a certified geriatric specialist, and this is my passion. And I'm really happy to see you all. I'm going to go to the next slide, and there we are. And as you can see, we're going to talk about who exactly is a fall risk so that people can really be aware of why they should be worried, thinking, prepared, okay? One thing I would say here, and a little quote here from the evidence-based AI world, every 14 seconds, an older adult visits the emergency room for a fall-related injury. Falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries for people 65 and older, with 1 in 4 reporting a fall each year. So you can see how this is really an important subject, and we need to do all we can to avoid falls. So going to the next slide. Okay, this is something from the CDC, and it's called Stay Safe. And basically, it's a way to know if you are a fall risk and also to understand what are the issues involved in making somebody a fall risk. First of all, if you're over 65, you are already, just by virtue of that, a fall risk. Okay, now going through this list, that each one of these is weighted. So the first one is, have you fallen in the past year? Okay, 2 points for that. All right. Next one is, have you been advised to use a cane or a walker? 2 points for that. Moving along, do you feel unsteady when you're walking? They give you 1 point for that. Do you hold on to furniture when you're walking at home? Are you worried about falling? Do you need to use your hands to stand up from a chair? Like you cannot stand up without using your hands. Trouble walking up onto a curb? Do you have to rush to the toilet? This is definitely something that causes folks to fall, you can imagine. Have you lost some feeling in your feet, often related to diabetes? Medications that can make you more fall prone, and this we'll talk about more. If you're sad and depressed, also that's an issue that can make you more prone. So if you say yes to enough that that counts for 4, then you should really think about this in those terms. Okay, so Next slide. Obviously, you're over 65, you cannot change that. But here are some of the things that you can change, okay? And this is the hopeful slide. You can get started doing exercise. And that is, of course, going to be the meat of the matter in this little webinar today. What exercise? How much do you have to do? What's it like? And we're going to actually do some together. The next is creating a safe environment. So things that are, I think, in some ways pretty clear, obvious, but you forget about them, like lighting, or making sure you don't have a rug that has the edges rolled up that you trip on with your foot, or animals in your environment, dogs, cats, that you have to keep your eye out for them, they don't trip you. Next is something that you can do, like getting grab bars, obviously assistive devices, bath seats that you put in your shower or tub. These are things that are very helpful, and there are many of them. An eye exam, that's recent. Footwear, which I have a whole slide about footwear. And last but not least on this list is medication review. And there are certain medications that put you more at risk for falls. And there's a list called, and you can see it here highlighted, Beer's List, done by Dr. Beer. And it basically is a list of those medications to share with your primary care provider. If you've had a fall, if you're worried about falls, to make sure that you are not taking one of those without a really impressive reason. You know, is there another medication you can take other than these? Here is the list of the kinds of devices that can make your home safer. And you can see here, there is again a link. And this is an excellent link for what you can look for in your home. And these are sort of reviewing some of what I already said. Certainly clutter, which I didn't yet mention, but that's obvious. Loose rugs, lighting, I mentioned. Very basic things like railings on your stairs, and bathroom, as I was saying, very potentially dangerous place. And so you want to have rugs on the floor that are not easily picked up, that keep the floor dry and safe for you. Inside the tub, a rubber that doesn't let your feet slide. These are all maybe obvious, unless you know, when I mentioned it, it's obvious, but they are super important. Okay, let's talk about footwear now. I think this is such an easy fix for people to prevent falls. So shoes that have non-slip soles, nice wide heel, secure fasteners, the heel counter that comes up around your heel doesn't slip off. The front of the shoe that is called the toe box is nice and wide. As we age, our feet spread, and you don't want your feet pinched together. Shock absorption, so it's cushiony adequately, and lightweight construction. And here again is a link for you to get into this information more. And as I said, it's an easy fix on a certain level that could really make a difference. Okay, it's a little outlay of money perhaps, but you can shop and you'll get some good examples here. Moving right along now to just sort of a general look at your health, and just to be aware that these things can make you more likely to fall. Some of this is a review of what I've already mentioned. So your vision is something that does become more problematic as we age. And there are definitely things that you can do, like cataract surgery, for
I'll
example.
vouch for that. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Reverend Barbara. That really did make a difference for you, didn't it?
It really did. It helped me with my balance too, Susan.
Okay, okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Yeah, I want to say, people sharing their experiences really does suck the point home. So thank you for that, Reverend Barbara.
Yeah.
Yes,
Didn't want to interrupt you, but it's on my mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, that was very, very timely and helpful. The next thing is musculoskeletal pain, right? And that is like the aches and pains of arthritis. Okay, I'll just wrap it up in that little package. And that is, how that's the reality of aging. But here may not be well known is that exercise does really help with this kind of pain. So you think about stiffness, especially in the morning, and then people stop walking or moving because they have some discomfort, and then they become weaker, and it's really a vicious cycle. So there's really good studies done why exercise helps with musculoskeletal pain. If anybody wants to chime in about that, they're more than welcome. But I will be talking about that more because it is really the heart of what I'm talking about today. Next here is urgency, rushing to the bathroom, and perhaps you've experienced that. And let me just say that that's very common. If you can get a bedside commode, if the need is there, that seriously, but that's something definitely to be on top of. A recent hospitalization or illness. So I made a point of putting this in here so that people would realize takes that you have to take some time after an illness or hospitalization to get back on your feet. But it is really important to keep at it and start doing more and more gradually. We already talked about the medications. Fear of falls, I will talk again more about that, but fear of falls is a big deal. People do start to not move because they're fearful of falls. Just like with musculoskeletal pain, people avoid it, and avoiding is makes the matter worse. So if that is becomes a problem after falling, which is a typical response to falling for older adults, that's a good time to ask for physical therapy from your primary care provider. Underactive, which is we've been discussing, haven't we here? Pain, depression, um, dizziness, fear of falls. These are all things that make people underactive and in itself are problematic. Well, here we are in the meat of the matter. There are three pillars, if you will, to exercise, or three types of exercise that are all really, really important for maintaining your ability to be active and to age well. And here they are. There's endurance or aerobic exercise, strength exercise, also known as progressive resistance training, big long word. We'll just stick with strength training and balance. And everybody's got a pretty good idea of what that is all about, balance. Going back up to endurance and aerobic exercise, so that is a sustained exercise, okay? So you're walking along and you just keep walking, even though maybe, and you would expect to have your heart rate go up and your breathing rate go up. That's normal endurance exercise. And if you can sustain it for 10 to 15 minutes, you get an aerobic training effect and you become more able to do endurance exercise, whatever it is, bringing in your groceries and putting them away, interacting with your children's children, or doing your housework. So aerobic endurance is a really important thing to maintain and work on as an older adult. Sustained exercise is the root there. Strength. Let's talk about strength. So, over these years, I'm already in my 70s. People did not talk about strength for anybody but men. pretty much. There wasn't any emphasis on strength training for women and certainly not for older adults. Well, that is very much not the case, understood to be the case now. Women are encouraged, and older adults most especially. Um, what is strength training? You can do it with resistance bands. Here's an example of a resistance band. Obviously, weights. You can do it with your own weight, right? You can do sit-ups, works on your core. There's a lot of ways. There is a way to do strength training, and this is important. It's been, well studied to do a set. So that would be like 10 repetitions, 12 repetitions of a particular exercise, and to do 3 sets. So I'll talk more about that, but strength training is really important for older adults. It will give you the ability to be functional and definitely help with fall prevention. And last but not least is balance. Balance is its own skill, if you will. Okay, and I've recommended 2 types: yoga, which has absolute focused balance, um, uh, uh, parts of the exercise itself. But Tai Chi is really a really well-established way to work on your balance because it is a flow from foot to foot, changing the where your balance is, where your center of gravity is. Very, very useful. You can do it ongoing. You need to do it ongoingly. You can do it at a senior center. You can do it online. I recommend any of these ways, and I will also talk about that a little bit more too. So now that I've sung the praises and talked a little bit about what are the different kinds of exercise, how to get started, okay? Get started. First of all, you got to get started. Talk to your doctor. Make sure if you've been inactive up till now, before you start, you talk to your doctor and make sure you're healthy enough to do exercise. And hopefully the doctor will ask you what kind of exercise, a little bit of endurance, strength, and balance. You could tell them, and that would really be important to make sure that you're healthy enough to start. If you have a physical therapist, of course, talk to them because they'll give you the same spiel and give you specific exercises. And here are just some ideas. Take walks with friends, join a gym, and get online. There are some amazing programs online. Make sure that it is something that you can sustain because it's satisfying in some way. It's fun even. And make it a habit. And as we know, we are creatures of habits, and it takes some focus to start a habit. But once you do, if you maintain it, it's got its own momentum. So here's a little bit about how to start an exercise habit. Okay, and there have been many, many books written now about it. And here is a good link to avail yourself of to get more, to get this broken down for you that I've put up here. Okay, so we're going to take a minute now, a few minutes, if I could say maybe 10, 15 minutes, to actually try out an exercise program that I lead, and we call it Get Your Zoom On, okay? We're going to actually do it together, or let me say you can observe it yourself. You don't have to do it with us, but I invite you to do this with us now. But to tell you a little bit about the program, it is free. It's online. We do the program twice a week. You can see here Mondays at 12:30 California time, Thursdays 12 o'clock, and it is with me, myself. Here, I've done many of these programs, and I think we'll enjoy doing them together a little bit, or you'll observe them. That's enough too now. Okay, so here's how we're going to start. Okay? And as I said, you can participate or not. I look forward to seeing you participate, but not necessary. You want to be in a chair, not a couch. Okay? Armrests, be nice if you don't have armrests. Okay? That's give you a little bit more room to move. We're going to use, if you have on hand, we use small hand weights. I have 3 pounders here. Um, You can use cans of beans, plastic water bottles, one for each hand. Um, and we use that for the aerobic exercise portion. Then we do resistance or strength training with a resistance band. And resistance bands, if you don't have one, we do send them to you. They're small, they're easy, and I will send you a resistance band that's we'll start at the level which you explained to me seems like the right level. We can start with a lightweight, a medium, a heavy, and then you can even put 2 bands together for more resistance because you do want to progress the weight or the resistance, if you will. That's how you get stronger. Shoes comfortable, don't slide off your feet. And let's go ahead here and give it a try. All right. How exciting to see, folks. I've asked Luana to pin me so you can see me most easily. Great, great. But it is lovely to see you all. And we're going to start with our exercise program sampler, if you will, with our exercise program sampler sitting at the edge of your seat, okay? So if you would sort of scoot your hips to the edge of your seat, if you can, and we'll just put our hands on our chest for a moment, okay? So that you can feel your chest rise as you breathe in, okay? So we'll take a nice deep breath in together and let the breath out and feel your chest come down a little as you let the breath out. And breath in. And I'm going to turn on some music. This is always so helpful. And the other way. Gently pressing down to make your knees nice and straight, fully extended. And now drop your head down and feel that stretch in the back of your neck. Follow your breath. Breathing in. As you breathe out, if you can, if you like, just come down a little further towards your feet. Follow the breath in. Let the breath come out. Perhaps falling a little further into the stretch.
But I don't have control.
Now, coming back up. So we begin the exercise program with posture and breathing, and then go on to an aerobics program. And we're going to use some disco because why not? And if you have any weights on hand, or it's not important if you don't, but if you have some little weights on hand, oh, look at that. Red Barbara has some. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so we'll just take a minute
Get the other.
and let people, find whatever they might have. But as I mentioned, it could be cans of beans, or it could be water bottles made of plastic, of course. And we'll get started now, and hope for that people will come back with a something, but not necessary. Oh, Serene's back. Here we go. All right. So, Thelma Houston. Okay, are you ready? I hope so. Okay. Okay, so we already worked on our posture. We did a little stretching. She's going to get there to the beat, but let's just get started a little, okay? Easy does it, yeah? Okay, this is all about easy does it. And that's the thing about aerobic exercise. Very natural. Get used to your heart rate coming up a little bit. Your breathing, respiration rate increasing a little bit. And just using a music, a rhythm, is just so very, very natural. Highly recommended. Okay, let's add the legs, yeah? You know how to do this. This is kind of like walking. Keep it going if you can. This is good. Let's keep it going. Here's a little variation on the theme. Okay, we'll bring the knees together, and the hands together, okay? And we'll open the knees apart and the hands. The whole body opens and closes, and opens and closes. Just like this. Here we go. We're gonna do this a little bit faster. Here we go. Yes. Yeah. That's it. Aerobic, endurance. You got this. Stay alive. Okay, back to running. Okay, let's bring the hands up to the shoulders and just stretch up. Ah, that's it. So here we go again. Yeah, again. Okay, and a little faster. Yes. Yes. You got this. You got it. Okay, good. Okay, stay here now. Hands here. Okay, we're going to lift one knee up. And then the other knee. Okay, you got that? Here we go. One knee, other. Keep it going. Yeah, this is endurance. Heart rate, respiration rate. And now, if you can, bring one elbow, you cross over to the opposite knee. When we come back up, another leg. Okay, back up. Okay, cross, up, cross, up, cross, up. See if you can stay with the rhythm a little. Keep it going. Really lifting up each time. We're going to go on now. If you're still in there and you haven't worn yourself out to a frazzle, if you have some energy left, hopefully you do. And if you don't now, if you kind of keep at it, you will. Okay, you will get stronger. You'll have more endurance as time goes on if you hang on. If you have your band, if you have your resistance band, if you don't, that's fine. You can just watch me. And I'm going to show you a few of the exercises we do for strengthening, okay? And as I mentioned, strengthening is about resistance. It's about weight. And so obviously this is not weight, this is resistance, but it's what really works well in a Zoom setting, in a online setting. So we're going to continue with this music. So I'm going to turn it back on. If you have your resistance bands, okay, I just want to say we went through the front of the body, the back, the core, the lower body, the upper body. It's a pretty full workout that you can do from sitting for the most part. And, you know, the repetitions of 12 is what's recommended, 10 to 12. And after we've gone through all the whole body parts, then we do the sets again. And we do 3 sets total. Okay, so we go through the whole thing. And this is really what is recommended for strengthening. So put your heart into it. You can do it. You know, you'll get stronger little by little. It'll really make a difference for you. That's the nature of strength training. And I really wanted to give you a chance to experience that today. We do a balance part in the aerobic section. And as I said, there are some wonderful programs out there. And we will definitely answer all questions you send us on the phone call, text, you know, because we're here to really help you set up an exercise program, to make sure your home is safe, to give you resources. So I'm going to go back to the slides now. And here we go. Okay, so after a fall. So as we talked about in the beginning, they're common, they can be deadly, they happen to everyone. You got to know how to prevent them, and you got to know what to do after you have one, okay? So big deal, don't make it a secret, don't be ashamed, let your doctor know, okay? You don't have to make it a big deal if you're not terribly worried about it, but don't keep it a secret, okay? Let your family know, I've had a fall. Okay, you want to learn how to get up and down from the floor before you fall and after you fall if you're not injured. Okay, if you're injured and you feel like you can't move safely, comfortably, then hopefully you can scoot, crawl, have some kind of a call button to get help. Okay, I didn't go into that in any detail here, but getting up and down from the floor in general is a really good thing to know how to do. It'll help you get stronger and make you less afraid. Don't stop exercising. Gee, I don't think I can emphasize that enough. Okay, and if you find yourself afraid of falling and avoiding exercise, that's really an important time to ask your primary care provider for physical therapy. Really important. So
Yeah.
next slide. Here, okay, so get on board. So just another pitch for why, how to get going on an exercise program. As you know, this is really what I can share with you about fall prevention. And it is very much recognized now. The World Health Organization, everywhere, exercise is truly something akin to an elixir for staying youthful. And however hard it is to get started, it's a habit worth creating. So here's just a little bit about how you can do that. You can see joining a gym with family, taking walks, your dog, using music, online, etc. And our last slide here, yeah. So we're here for you. We're here to help people get started, to make their homes safer. We did want to share with you, Melanie was going to, but couldn't make it to share with you now, but she came on, and maybe we can even say hi to Melanie. Melanie, are you still here, darling?
I'm here, yes.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Sorry about that part.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's stop the screen share now. And we are almost done. And Melanie, if you can just give us a nice wave, and maybe just give us a short version of what you were going to tell us about making your home safer.
Sure, yes. So I'm Melanie Antioquia, occupational therapist. And it was slide 6, I believe. It was about checking for safety in the home. So just a quick overview is it's basically a checklist of to take a look at your home. So the first part is about stairs and steps. So taking a look at so for those of you that do have stairs and steps, is to look if you have objects on the stairs. Also take a look at to see if any of the steps are broken. Okay, because you want to fix those, or even the uneven steps, you want to get those fixed. Is there a light and a light switch at the top and bottom of the stairs? Right, so you want to make sure that when you're starting from the bottom, that you're able to see when you're ascending and descending down the stairs. So getting that taken care of if that's not already done. They also have like motion lights or even light switches that glow. So there's a lot of options. So getting in touch with an electrician or maybe like a family member that could help you take a look at that is important. Taking a look at if you have any light bulbs that are burned out anywhere in your home, because light is very important. Is there carpet on the steps, and are they loose or torn? So wanting to make sure that each carpet, like for each step, that the carpet is firmly attached, right? Or even get rid of the carpet overall, because that can be a fall hazard. There's options that you can put on non-slip rubber treads on the stairs. So that taking a look at that as well. Handrails. Oftentimes in an ideal situation, you want to have 2 handrails available to you when you're ascending, descending stairs. And then also making sure that those are fixed if they're broken. So if they're not sturdy, making sure that you get that fixed. The second part on that list is the floors. So take a look around your floors now, maybe even, and are they cluttered? Do you have a path to walk? Is it clear? Do you have like books or junk on the ground? Making sure that you have a nice clear path when you're walking around your home. Do you have throw rugs on the floor? If you do, you want to make sure that they're secure on the ground. So you can put double-sided tape. There's options for double-sided tape or even like a non-slip backing on the rug. So you can, check your hardware store, even sometimes at the dollar store they have those. So just take a look around your home and look at the throw rugs that you have. Again, the clutter, it could be papers, shoes, books. So making sure that you keep your floors clear. Do you have cords on the ground? Like the lamp cords, telephone cords, extension cords, right? You want to make sure that that is not in your way, because they're very, it's a hazard. You can slip, trip. So making sure that those are out of the way is very important. Okay, let's travel to the kitchen now. Quickly travel to the kitchen. When you are in your kitchen, you want to make sure you have access to everything within your arm's reach, right? A lot of the times there's maybe things up at the top shelves or even like at the bottom shelves where you have to really bend down and like, your knees are like, woo, right? So you want to make sure that you have things available to you at your waist height. Okay, because you don't want to be climbing on chairs that can be a fall risk, or even like getting really low to the ground can be possibly painful for your knees and things like that, right? So if you have a step stool in your kitchen, you want to make sure that it's sturdy. So a sturdy stool that has a bar that you can hold onto. You never want to use a chair, a rolling chair, or any chair. It has to be a sturdy step stool. All right, let's move on to the bedroom. Okay, so in the bedroom, do you have enough light in your bedroom if you need, to wake up at night to use the restroom? You want to make sure you have like a lamp close by where you can just reach Yeah, here's the list. There you go. Thank you. So we're now in the bedroom on the right side. Is there a lamp close by where you can easily reach for it? Okay. Is there a path from your bed to the bathroom? Also, if you need to, put a night light so you can see where you're walking. So night lights some can go on by themselves after dark as well. All right. Last part is the bathroom. All right. So in the bathroom, you either have a walk-in shower or a tub. Okay. So when you're inside the tub, you want to make sure, because things get really slippery there with soap, that you have a non-slip rubber mat or they're called self-stick strips on the floor. Okay. And then also, last but not least, are grab bars. Grab bars are really important, and can be very helpful to get in and out of the tub safely. So, usually in a tub, shower, a vertical one to help you in and out of the shower is important, and then also a horizontal bar so that when you're in there and you're bending, having to reach maybe to clean your feet, you have something sturdy to hold on to. So there's also shower chairs, a long handled shower head that can be helpful in the shower as well. So there you have it.
Melanie, I've raised my hand.
Yes.
Yeah, good. I just thought you might take a minute, Melanie, to tell us about the railing that Daybreak put in for your dad.
Yes. So Daybreak, love Daybreak. Uh, put a railing outside for my dad on the front porch. So, so it's a landing and like two steps to get into the house. So my dad is 85. He has issues with balance, and we needed to make sure that there was something safe for him to hold on to. So um, Daybreak graciously helped us with a handrail for him to get in and out of the house
So
safely.
let me just say, tag on that these are some of the things that Daybreak does and can do for you. We serve low income or lower income when you can't afford these things yourself to keep people safe in their homes, keep their caregivers safe, and of course, railings on their stairs was something extremely important for their family. So really appreciate folks sharing, as Reverend Barbara did, your own personal experience with falls and fall prevention. We appreciate that so much. We will have our next newsletter feature this webinar, and we'll have resources listed for you all. If there's anybody now who would like to ask a couple questions or share an experience about fall prevention, we can grab a couple minutes even though we're over time. But it's just very special to have people share. Yes, Reverend Barbara, please.
Once again, it's about the stairs. I've got a, 10 or 12 stairs before I can get into my house. And I made the mistake yesterday of carrying heavy bags while I was holding on to the railing. And it was painful. I had to like drop everything. So that's, a word of caution. Don't carry uh, too much when you're on the stairs. That's about weight, too. Yeah,
And
yeah.
what I would say about that is there's something that you knew yourself, okay? You
Right.
knew before you headed up those steps, I'm guessing, that taking these two bags would be faster, more efficient, but you probably thought to yourself, I'm guessing, I'm taking a risk.
I did. And I paid for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, falls are really, really serious. So, really watch pay attention, stay strong, get your house prepared, and be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Look for things in your way when you're walking. As an older adult, it isn't good to fall.
And I just want to thank you and Melody for just a wonderful presentation on the webinar. Yeah, very, very helpful.
Lovely. Thank
Could
you
I
all.
Don't,
could I
don't
add
forget
in
to
my
stay hydrated.
oh yes, especially in the
Hydrate.
heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I wanted to add that, you know, the like Susan was saying that there's a lot of programs out there, and I currently will be starting a bingo size class in the San Leandro area. So it starts October 7th. It's twice a week for 10 weeks. It's called bingo size. So bingo, exercise, fall prevention. So reach out to Susan if you'd like more information on that. You register by contacting me directly. So
Absolutely.
I look forward to that.
We'll have that on our resources in our next newsletter, and feature that because you've already had a chance to meet Melanie, and she's an OT with many years of experience. But there's a lot of programs out there. So thanks for coming today, and look for the newsletter next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I have fun, Susan. Thank you for the invite. Funny thing, well, I think we still have participants, but I went to the gym today and I strained something over here. This is the first time in a long time that I strained something, and your exercises were even a little challenging for me because of the strain. And it's just a reminder that we have to take care of our bodies, we have to keep active, and we have to sometimes moderate because we're all aging in some way, somehow. So I really
And, that brings up a really big issue of what's enough, what's too much. Do you know what you can do and can't do? But you can't stop trying, okay? And if you have a problem, you can ask your provider for PT. I mean, I'm not biased, really. But, posture is, and doing things correctly, posture.
yeah.
It will definitely put you in a better position for not hurting your body. So thank you all so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
You.
Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Thank you.